What's going on, everyone? It is Paul, the 920 Trader with 920 Trading and Trading Decoded. Today is Wednesday, March 6th, 2024, and this is how we traded SPY today. But before we get into the charts, if you enjoy our content, please go ahead and leave us a like and a subscribe. And don't forget to turn on your notifications. That way you will be notified when we drop new content, which is almost every day and sometimes on the weekends. Also, please share and leave us a comment. We would greatly appreciate that as well. So we're going back to the charts again. So what we're going to do, we're going to look at that pre-market high, 510.71, pre-market low, 507.52. So at this point, we're thinking, you know what, we got $3. We got $3 worth of movement in pre-market. I'm thinking, man, that's a really that's a lot of movement in pre-market. We like to see the movement in pre-market. Now, yesterday, if you remember my video yesterday, I talked about the downside a lot, that if we breach specific levels back to the downside, 507, whatever it was, 50, whatever it was, I can show you what it was. It was in here, folks. It was down in this region. So this is what we're looking for right in here, folks. We're looking for, if we breach this area to the downside, we had nothing but thin volume down below us for about $2. So, but what I didn't talk about to the upside, only because I guess maybe I was a little bit not necessarily too focused on the upside, but I said, let's see what happens in pre-market. So we had this little run yesterday after hours, just a little bit, but guess what it did? Look what it did in pre-market this morning. It gapped up in pre-market. So at this point, I'm thinking, you know what? We probably won't take that big gap out, that thin volume area. We probably won't play with that thin volume area. We might, who knows? But again, we're going to go with pre-market high sitting there at 510.71, pre-market low, 507.52. Now, the lines that I have on my chart, so the lines that I have on my chart right now, and let me get back to the end of this thing before we get to the live part. Okay, so the lines that I have on my chart, every single line that is here on my chart right now was here in pre-market. I didn't put any lines down during the day, so everything, again, is from pre-market. So we got this 30-minute zone here from yesterday, 30-minute pre-market support. So this area right in here, 508.85, pre-market support on a 30-minute. It is double bottom on a 30-minute at this level right in here. Now, we also have, and we will take a look at this. We also have a 15-minute double bottom right here. So at 509.21 and 509.76. So what these are, folks, is these are stair steps, and I'll show that on the 15-minute here in just a little bit. They are stair steps, so those are good levels of support. So it's basically rally, support, or rally base on up to wherever it decided to go. We kept making pre-market highs throughout the pre-market. We actually topped out in pre-market, I do believe, on a couple minutes from the end of pre-market. So here is what happened today. That first play out of the gate, what was it? It just happened to be a cross to the downside, a small cross to the downside, but because, again, remember this level right in here, folks, 509.76. That's one of those stair steps on the 15. So we have a stair step here, 509.21, a stair step here, 509.76, all the way to the top, 510.71. So I took this double cross. I said, you know what? There's not a whole lot of risk. My stop on this particular play would have been the 9. Okay, I wasn't going to let this thing run all the way up to 510.71. So again, double cross to the downside. I don't know where the POC was at this time. Really doesn't matter. Kind of took a flyer on this because we were still above VWAP. But anyway, it worked out very well. What did we pick up? I don't know, 60 cents out of this play. It was a really nice play. Back to the downside. So that next play right out of the gate, guess what? I missed it. I didn't put on this play right here. We didn't get a fresh cross. No fresh cross. But let's see what happened in here. We came down exactly. We pushed a little bit below on this move to the downside. Again, I could have taken it a continuation play to the downside. This would have been a good candle to get in on. Or any of these in here that breached and held below that 509.76. Those would have been really good candles to get in on. But I didn't get in on those plays. You know what? That's okay. I missed out on what, $1.20 move to the downside? $1.20? That's a big move, folks. If you can catch $1.20 in a single move, that is a really, really, really nice move. So what did we do? We just kind of bounced around for a little bit. We came down here to this 30-minute zone. Again, 30-minute double bottom. And we got this 30-minute double bottom right down here. We had 30-minute zone down in here. 508.51. We bounced directly out of this zone right here. Directly out of this zone right here. Picked up this 30-minute double bottom right here, and then went immediately to this 15-minute double bottom right here. Again, you can see where the smiley face is over on the right. But again, I didn't play any of this. I thought, you know what? We got VWAP up here. I missed this cross to the upside. Now, at this point, I'm thinking, okay, it's VWAP. Do I trust to get over VWAP? I missed it, so I said, okay, if we breach VWAP again to the upside, I'm absolutely getting in on the trade. So we breached VWAP to the upside. It became a much safer play at this point, only because I had two levels of support directly below me. So I had the 9 and I had this 509.76. If this play goes against me, this is exactly where I'm taking myself out of the play. No questions asked. So generally speaking, folks, what you want to do is you want to take your calls directly above a major level of support. Okay. And again, you've got two major levels of support right there at 509.76. And again, VWAP right directly above it, 509.82. So those are within just a few cents of each other. So a very, very low risk play. So at this point, where's our target? Well, we got a couple of targets up here. So our first target is right up here at this 510.71, but that's not enough. We're going to go to this pre-market 15-minute pre-market level from yesterday. Yesterday, we had a level up here. I thought about taking it out up here, but we took this candle and breached above, and that was my resistance. Thought I'd take it up to this next candle, struggled to get up again to that level, took off the trade right in here. Now, that was a decent play. What do we have? 509. That's over a dollar move. So, it's so far at this point, we're working on about $1.60 worth of movement, overall movement in SPY dollars, and I trade SPX. So I've done very, very well so far. So what did we do past that? Well, we just kind of bounced around for a little bit. Not another cross until we got up in this range up in here. At this point, I'm thinking, you know what? I have no earthly idea where it's going to go. Do I have another zone high? Yes, I have 511.99. Didn't really have, I don't want to say faith. I could have taken this cross to the upside, but again, I didn't take that trade. Yeah, it just is what it is. It's one of those situations where it is what it is. But I didn't want to miss that next play to the upside. So I thought, you know what? I've got this good support, 511.21. Again, this is still a pre-market level. We were holding on to this as support. We're holding on this as support. So we get another cross right in this area. I took it in the fishtail. And rode it up to the very top this time, which was 511.99. We've been shooting for that 511.99, 512 for a long, long time. Now, you will notice that I have this written down right here as a high volume node. So check it out. It's a high volume node. So essentially what that is, and we talked about this yesterday, we're looking at volume profile. So volume profile shows you where your volume has been traded. So I knew that there was volume at that level. So at that level, one of two things is going to happen. It's either going to act as a rejection zone, or it's going to fly back to the upside. At this point, I'm thinking, you know what? Let's just take this trade off the table. Again, nice little trade here. I don't know what I got in this trade. I don't know, 50, 60 cents, something like that. Decent trade. But again, when we're talking about SPY or SPX dollars, decent play back to the upside. Now, here's where it got fun. I went to lunch. I think I went to lunch at 1 o'clock. So I went to lunch at 1 o'clock, which was right in this area. So I missed this play to the upside. Another play, so you could have taken this play or wait for your fresh cross, take your fresh cross, double cross off of this 511.21 again to the upside and try to get there. Now you're already seeing. Now remember, I went to lunch, folks, and I'm coming back to lunch. And just as I got to lunch, look what's happening. The POC at this time was somewhere in this area. And I got back from lunch. I sat down at my desk, and the POC had moved up to right around here, 511.80, 511.79. I got to my desk. I saw the POC had changed. I got back on the mic and I said, wow, the POC just moved up. Guess what, folks? We failed to get to that 511.99. We're in the fishtail. If we hold below 511.80 or whatever that specific number was, you're safe in puts. And we had a bunch of our members. And again, I was just getting back to my desk at this time. I said, you're safe in puts. And all of a sudden, it just dumped. I mean, we are talking about a grand scale dump. So we're talking about 511.78 down through on this first run back to the downside, 509.96. We're talking almost $2 inside 2 minutes. Folks, these are massive, massive, massive plays. I don't care if you're trading a single SPY contract. These are massive. These are huge, huge plays back to the downside. Now, here's the thing. And I asked the group after this play was over, we were down, bouncing around down in here, and I said, okay, how many of you, when you saw this thing dumping, thought, I've got to get into this play, I've got to get in? And a few folks raised their hands, or at least, did you have FOMO? Did you have the fear of missing out on the play? And a bunch of people raised their hands, and some people said, no, I'm following my plan. And I said, just from a natural reaction, you're thinking to yourself, oh, I wish I was in this play. I wish I was in this play. And then your logical brain kicks in and you say, I cannot chase this play. Wait for another entry and then see if you can take it to the downside. So that's exactly what I did. Again, I missed this 15, 20 seconds. If I had been back to my desk 15 or 20 seconds earlier, I could have seen the setup. I could have opened everything up, and I will guarantee you I would have been in this play, but I wasn't in the play. So I thought, you know what? If it does it again, if we get a rejection off this same level, 511.21, and we get into an area where I've got a little bit of safety, so I had two areas of safety here. I had the 9, I had 510.71, and I knew I didn't know anything. I thought we'd continue pushing down. If we get into this area, I'm going to put on the trade. So we closed directly above VWAP, and I'm thinking, you know what? Last time it pushed right through. I put on the trade, and literally it just dumped again. These are the trades as traders that these are really, really great trades. Now, if you get trapped, let's say you're in calls in here, you're breaching the 9 back to the downside, and you get trapped, as some people did, it can really hurt. But if you catch one of these, it kind of makes up for it. I didn't get trapped, but I know of a few people who did get trapped. So anyway, took this play back to the downside. Now, after all of this volatility, you're thinking, well, is anything going to happen? I didn't play anything basically the rest of the day. I thought, I'm not interested. I don't know. We never know what's going to happen for one. But you can just make the assumption that if you play anything, you're just shooting for levels. You're just shooting for levels. But again, look at the size of these candles, folks. So here is from 13 down to 21. It's an 80-cent candle. Never take a position on an 80-cent candle. And you can look at it after the fact and said, well, you would have been okay with it. Yes, you would have been okay with it. But where are you stopping? Let's say you take a position on this, directly on this support right here. Again, demand zone, 15-minute double bottom from earlier, demand zone. What happens if this trade goes against you? Where are you stopping out? Are you giving yourself all the way up to the 9 or the entire candle? Are you risking money on an 80 or 90 cent or $1 candle? No, the answer is no. Now, you can, but again, how are you predefining your risk based on that? Where's your risk? You've got to be very specific. Well, is it 50% of the candle? Is it a breach above this candle over here, a close above this? It's much easier, again, to do it when you're directly below, not on an 80-cent candle. Now, here's the thing, and I think I said this a few days ago. It's better to not be in a trade and wish you were than to be in a trade and wish you weren't. It's like flying an airplane. It's better to be on the ground wishing you were in the air than being in the air and wishing you were on the ground, folks. That's just the way it is. If you miss the trade, wait for your next setup. If you miss it, wait for your next setup. So it did a little bit the rest of the day. Basically, again, these were levels that I'd drawn out earlier in the day, and they generally work out really well throughout the day. But there was a lot of whipsaw action, so you had to time everything just as perfectly as you could. And then you're thinking, we're going to breach, and you don't breach, and you end up on the losing side of a trade. So we're just kind of, if you draw a trend line, you could draw a trend line back to the downside. Yes, yes, yes. But then you hit levels, and then it zooms back up. And we're getting really, really late in the day at this point. So anything that moves against you late in the day, if you're playing zero DTEs, now we got some of our members that play 1 day out or 2 days out. They don't take as much of a hit, and they have more time to recover on the play. But I play almost exclusively zero DTEs. But that's what it did today. 350 candle. What happened on the 350 candle today? It was red. So if you're making the assumption, okay, well, I got a red candle, it's going to continue dropping throughout the rest of the day, which I know one of our members did. It was in puts up here, in puts. And I said, okay, we got 509.21. If we breach 509.21, actually, he got in on a rejection of the VWAP a minute before the 350 candle. And I'm thinking, oh my goodness, if you get something that goes the opposite direction of your play that late in the day, you're toast. So anyway, I said, okay, if we breach 520 or 509.21 to the downside, we got room to the downside, but it didn't. It bounced directly off that level. Again, 15-minute demand zone. Now let me show you the stair step on the 15 from pre-market. Okay, so here's pre-market. These are the stair steps that I'm talking about right in here, folks. Let me move it over just a little bit. So right in here, 15-minute stair step. So we have a stair step here. Actually, we have a stair step here. Again, 30-minute pre-market support right down in here. So you got a stair step here. You got a stair step here. You got a stair step here, or stair step here. And then we topped out pre-market. So just walk up the steps, folks. Just walk up the steps. And you can see this on all time frames. But when you go to those higher time frames, again, the higher the time frame, the stronger the level. And again, it proves out. Every single day, folks, it proves out the higher the time frame, the stronger the level. But that's how she played out today. So you can see this is kind of a lot of madness, this last hour and a half of the day. But look at this volume. Look at all of this volume the last, 2.5 hours of the day. This is absolutely insane volume. I mean, this is crazy. All it is, folks, is it's high frequency trading. It's just computers trading back and forth and back and forth and back and forth. Not really worried about picking a direction. Maybe they're consolidating or whatever they're doing, but they're battling for positions at these levels, folks. Do not get caught up in the battle. Wait for your setup. And I'm telling you, folks, when you're seeing volume like this, unless it's going in your direction, it's too easy to get whipsawed and taken out of the trade on the bad side of things. So most people have done very, very well throughout the day. And I said, folks, unless you get a breach below these zones, don't put on the trade. Look at the volume and look specifically where your strong areas of support and resistance are. And if you're going to play off those levels. Now, you can make the argument that there are some plays here. Yeah, particularly you're thinking, okay, late in the day, well, you could have taken this play to the upside. Yeah, you could have. But guess what? You've got a rejection zone here. You got a rejection zone here. You could have taken the plays. But nevertheless, I didn't. Some of the members did. But that's how she played out today. Overall, it was a good day. Now, we had a couple of things come out today. We had the JOLTS job openings, and that was at 10 o'clock today. We also had Jerome Powell, chairman of the Federal Reserve. He testified before the House this morning on the general, economy and, different questions and this kind of thing. Now, tomorrow at 10 o'clock, he is testifying in front of the Senate. So we can expect kind of the same things tomorrow. Now, if he says one thing that the market doesn't like, it generally goes kind of crazy. At the same time, if he says something that the market likes, it goes in the opposite direction. So be very, very mindful, again, of 10 o'clock tomorrow morning, Jerome Powell sitting in front of the Senate. Today, it was the House. Tomorrow, it is the Senate. So that's how she played out today. Now, if you enjoy our videos, please consider giving us a like and a subscribe. And don't forget to turn on your notifications. That way you can be one of the first to be notified when we drop new content, which is, again, almost every day and sometimes on the weekend. On the weekend, I will drop trading psychology videos, so check those out. Now, if you are interested in live daily trading, we do this every single day, folks. Head over to our live trading decoded Discord. Again, every single day from bell to bell. If you want to see this in real time and hear the analysis in real time every single day from bell to bell, head on over there. We're going to give you that first week for free. If you like it, great, stick around. If you don't, hey, that's fine too. At least you got a taste of what we do. If you are interested in the 920 strategy, head on over to 920trading.com. Again, both of the links for those resources are down below, so go ahead and click on those as well. Again, the information on the 920 strategy is available at no cost to you other than the most precious commodity there is, and that is your time. They're not making any more of it, folks, and it's in limited supply. So head on over there, spend a little bit of time, familiarize yourself with the strategy, and then head on over to Trading Decoded. And again, we will treat you very, very well. So that's how we did it today. That's how we did it today, folks. Thank you for spending some of your time with us. We realize, again, time being the most precious commodity out there. We appreciate spending your precious time with us. And we're going to do this again tomorrow. We're going to trade tomorrow, and we're going to do an update video. So I hope everybody has a great rest of the day, and we will see you in the markets.